just talk about this one. The Amazing Spider-Man 2 was released in 2014, directed once again by Mark Webb, once again starring Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone, along with Jamie Foxx, Dane DeHaan, Paul Giamatti, Sally Field. And yeah, like I said, let's just go ahead and do this one. Starting off with a good. I still liked Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man in this movie, and he was a lot better as Peter as well. I actually liked the way he was portrayed in this movie. He wasn't an unlikable jerk like most of his performance in the first movie. This movie kind of does cement Andrew Garfield as a great actor, which I'll get to more later on down the road in this review. Emma Stone as Gwen Stacy in this movie also does a wonderful job. Probably the best performance in this whole movie, in my opinion. Her chemistry with Andrew Garfield, once again, absolutely amazing. And again, it's probably boosted by the fact that they were dating in real life around the time this movie was released. So that probably had something to do with it, but either way, it was still really good chemistry. I really liked it. Sally Field is Aunt May in this movie. Not horrible, but again, not as good as Rosemary Harris. But she's not really given much to do in this movie. There's a whole side plot about her going to medical school or something like that. It didn't really, resonate with me, but it wasn't like the worst subplot in this movie, which there are plenty of bad subplots in this movie. I liked the action sequences in this movie. They were much better done than in the previous movie, specifically the final battle with Electro at the power grid, and also the first battle between Spider-Man and Electro in Times Square. I thought it was a really cool set piece. And I really liked the opening sequence of this movie with Spider-Man swinging through the city. It's got one of the best opening shots of Spider-Man, and I really liked that. And I really liked the score in this movie. It felt like much more of a Spider-Man score than the first movie did. Especially Electro's theme, I thought it was really badass. I really hope it makes a return in No Way Home. I think the best scene in this movie is that little montage we get around the beginning of the second act, I want to say, where Peter's just swinging around as Spider-Man, helping out the normal people, not really fighting supervillains, just helping out people. He saves a kid from a group of bullies, walks home with him. That is Spider-Man right there. And I thought that was a really nice touch. I really wish we got something like that with Toby, but we also kind of did in the burning building scene of the first and second movies. Either way, I thought that was a really nice scene, really good touch. And I thought that Gwen Stacy's death in this movie was very well done. Remember at the beginning of the review when I said this movie really cements Andrew Garfield as a great actor? That scene right there cements Andrew Garfield as a great actor. That's the scene I was alluding to, because when he's holding Gwen Stacy's dead body, just crying over it, begging for her to wake up, stay with him. It's an absolutely emotional scene that Andrew Garfield really delivered the pain and hurt that Peter was feeling in that moment. And I just thought it was a really good scene. And that's about all I have for the good here. Moving on to the bad, stuff I did not like in this movie. There's plenty. Like I said, I was not a huge fan of how these two movies went. First of all three villains in this movie are just absolutely god awful. You get the main villain, Electro, played by Jamie Foxx, who is a good actor, I will add. I think he's an amazing actor, actually, and I'm really glad that they're bringing him back for No Way Home to give him another chance. But this version of Electro, no thank you. Please be any other version of Electro with Jamie Foxx in No Way Home, because this version just does not do it for me. His design, it looks like Dr. Manhattan's rejected cousin or something. I get that it looks like the ultimate Spider-Man version of Electro, but I don't care. I think it's a horrible design that carried over horribly to the big screen, and I didn't like it. I hated his whole motivation. Well, Spider-Man forgot my name and didn't come to my birthday party, and then the camera switched from me to him in Times Square. In what world is that good cause to hate Spider-Man? That's horrible writing. I don't care. It's bad. And you got Green Goblin, played by Dane DeHaan, who played Harry Osborn, who became Green Goblin. And he was bad. I haven't really seen Dane DeHaan in a lot of movies. I still need to see A Cure for Wellness, but judging by this movie, no more Dane DeHaan, please, because first of all, as Harry, he is nothing like James Franco. He does not have that chemistry with Andrew Garfield that James Franco had with Tobey Maguire. It just doesn't feel natural at all. These guys were supposed to have been friends for years, but Harry is just now coming back into town, and Harry wasn't even mentioned in the first movie. Norman was barely mentioned in passing in the first movie, and Harry was nowhere to be seen or heard of in the first movie. And now we're supposed to believe they've been good friends this whole time. No, I'm not buying that. And then, again, his Green Goblin form. Oh my god. Green Goblin was shoehorned into this movie at the very last second just so they could have Gwen Stacy's death in the movie. And it just didn't. I didn't like the battle. I didn't like his design. He looked stupid. And I didn't like his motivation. Again, it was just Spider-Man wouldn't let me have his blood, so now I'm going to kill him. Really? Why does everybody have to have a personal vendetta against Spider-Man? Why can't it be like the first two Raimi movies where they're just evil and Spider-Man just so happens to be there to stop them? Specifically the first one, but still, I didn't like it. And then the final villain in this movie, who is in it for 2 minutes tops, Rhino, played by Paul Giamatti. This guy is awful. And I'm glad that he was not a main villain like the movie marketed him to be, but still, he was awful for the time we got him in, because his Russian accent, first of all, absolutely terrible. The Rhino suit, god awful. I did not like that Hulkbuster looking whatever they had him in. I thought it was a horrible villain, and honestly, part of me is glad that the movies didn't get picked up for any more, even though I would have liked to see where it went and see Andrew Garfield get more of a chance. But yeah, it's a horrible character, and shouldn't have even been in it for what they did with him, but it's whatever. What are you gonna do about it? On top of that, story in this movie wasn't very good, wasn't fun at all. Tonally, it does feel like a Spider-Man movie, unlike the last movie, I'll give it that. But the plot is so muddled and jumbled and overstuffed by so many subplots, plot twists. Oh, here's a new villain. Oh, here's another new villain. Oh, here's another character we never even knew. Oh, they serve an actual story point. And then they're gone. They introduce and get rid of and reintroduce other ones and get rid of them again. It's way too muddled down by itself, and I just didn't like the whole execution of the plot. And oh, I forgot to mention this with Electro. When he becomes Electro, it fixes the gap in his teeth. I know a lot of people have mentioned that before in videos and stuff, but it's so stupid. I mean, just watch the scene and you'll see what I'm talking about. If you've never caught on to that before, it's a horrible, horrible thing. And I'm just gonna stop talking about the negatives here. Final thoughts. Despite my whole rant I just went on, I don't absolutely hate this movie. It's definitely got a lot of issues, and it's definitely very, very bogged down by its own plot. But I do kind of have a bit of a soft spot for it. It's not a great movie. It's not a horrible movie. It's just middle of the road. It's horribly average. And I feel like that's the worst thing any movie could do. Just be horribly average. Just be good or bad. Make up your mind. But either way, I didn't absolutely hate The Amazing Spider-Man 2. I find it a bit better than the first one, and I'm giving it a 6 out of 10. So that was my thoughts on The Amazing Spider-Man 2. What did you think about this movie? Let me know down in the comments section. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share this video if you're new here, and I will see you all tomorrow with my thoughts on Spider-Man Homecoming, and then the day after with Far From Home, and then No Way Home. Very excited. Please live up to the hype, please. Either way, I will see you all tomorrow.